All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Sportsmen. As always, Joey D, we've got the jet up top, and I'm actually in his apartment. He's in his bedroom. I put him in his bedroom, and on his couch. I slept here last night, and you got a nice couch, Chick.
How's the Springs?
The Springs, yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's a good spring count.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
talk to
it's
Posse, you don't ask about the springs, you ask about the strings.
okay. Well, sure. That's great. Love that bit
Good to have
sticking
you
around.
back in this part. I feel like I haven't seen Pop in forever, man.
Yeah, and you won't see me for very long. You'll see me tonight, and you'll see me tomorrow, and
We'll
then
see you
not for a
next
while
week.
again. Yeah, yeah, I'll see you
Progress.
next week. Sure, sure,
Thank
sure,
God.
sure. Um, all right, let's get right into it. Let's get to first story we got is Saquon Barkley becoming the highest paid running back in the league. The Eagles extended him to 2 years, 41 point something million. Joe,
I think
right
it was like,
decision? What do you think?
yeah, I mean, you knew that was coming. 36 million guaranteed. So,
Yeah,
big payday for our guy, which, love to see it. And you know what? Regardless of whether you agree with it or not, anytime a team brings a guy in like that, he has basically a record-setting year. Like he didn't play the last game of the season. He could have eclipsed 2,000 yards rushing. Um, he was right there. And then was just a massive force in getting them to the Super Bowl and ultimately winning the Super Bowl. Now he didn't have to do much in the Super Bowl final, but leading up to that, the game against the Commanders, the game against the Rams, I mean, he was unbelievable. It seemed like every time he got the ball, there was an opportunity he was going to break one to the house. And I think a lot of people expected that from him out of the gates. It just goes to show how bad the Giants were, that and how bad of a quarterback Daniel Jones is, because every time a team would play them, they just stacked the box and the guy would never be able to see daylight. So you finally then give him an unbelievable, offensive line, which, is arguably, if not the best in all of football. And the guy just ran wild. So it made Philadelphia a very diverse, versatile team where if they didn't beat you on the pass, it could beat you on the run. They could beat you in a multitude of ways. And ultimately, I think it was totally deserved. The guy, great team guy, fit in with everyone on the team there. And I think he's going to have a lot of success in the next couple of years and into the future. I think it's a great signing. I think he's worth every penny. And I think the Eagles are going to be happy to have him.
Jet.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane how the running back market is that he's getting the highest deal ever for a running back, and it's only like 20 mil a
I
year.
know.
A year
Yeah.
running back. So I don't think it's crazy. It's that was the most interesting thing to me is how I don't know how I guess running back, the span of a running back is less than you get 4 or 5 years, but they're getting grossly underpaid for such an important position, especially with some of the teams. You could say he was the most important part of their team. And so I'm happy. It's good for him, man. And good. And hopefully it sets the running back market a little higher, and then everybody else gets paid too, on a little under him.
Well, I think in the past, like they had some running backs get overpaid, and then the market
Yeah.
kind of really took a downhill swing. You had guys like Ezekiel Elliott getting paid, and then I think like the last little bit, a lot of teams have switched to like a running back by committee where they have like multiple backs,
Right.
kind of leading the charge. But when you have a guy who's clearly a workhorse back, as in Saquon Barkley, as in Derrick Henry, as in some of these guys. Like, I think you have to look at the impact that they have on the offense, right? And you look at what some of these receivers are making now, they're making absurd money. Obviously, the quarterback's always going to be the highest paid position, but I think in a game like football, they need to be because the offense is running through them. They have complete control over everything. But if you look at a receiver, and some of these top end receivers, what they're making is well in the $20 million range now, like what's the difference if it's a running back? If he has the same impact on that team's offense that a receiver does, I don't see it being an issue whatsoever. To be honest, Jed, I completely agreed with you. I thought 20 million was like, when I found it was the highest ever for a running back, I
I
was like,
know.
damn.
It's the concern. It's the concern, alleged concern. I think that they use this against him, but the alleged concern of the wear and tear on the body and the fact that a running back's lifespan
Yeah.
of productivity is so much. Like T. Higgins just got franchise tagged, and he's making
24 million.
27 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're telling me Saquon is not more valuable to the Eagles than T. Higgins is to the Bengals? Of course he is. But that's just, how it works. I am curious though. It's a restructure though, because this was his first year with the Eagles. He didn't sign a 1-year deal with the Eagles, did he?
No, didn't he have, he came over via a contract
Yeah.
still with the
Yes.
Giants?
He was a free agent.
Was he a free agent?
I think he was a free agent that he walked. Yeah.
But
the
must
Giants
be a
released him.
restructure. He must have. I think he signed like a 3-year deal, and then after year 1, they just re-upped him for the next 2. But yeah, good for
And by
him.
the way, it's a good deal for the Eagles. It's only 2 years. It's not like they signed him to a 6-year deal.
I'm going to be honest. The only issue I had when we first got him was that he seemed to be starting down a path of big time injuries. And once you start that rolling down that hill, they seem to compound and
Slippery
get worse.
slope.
So I was worried. I was very nervous the whole season. But at this point, the fact that this guy, and in my opinion, was the massive difference that won us the Super Bowl. I think if you take him off the team and give us any other running back, even the second best guy in the league, I'm not sure we win. I think he is the biggest reason that we won. You could pay this guy for another 10, 15 years. He could be hurt every season. I don't care. Just pay him for what he did for us. I really don't care. I mean, I agree with Jed. I think it's kind of low, but I guess for the market, for running backs, because they're running through the line. I mean, you think about it. These wide receivers, they have big impacts on teams, but a good game is catching it 9, 10 times. Even though they're running routes, they might take a hit here and there. A running back like Saquon running 20 times a game into a line, into guys twice his size. Yeah, the wear and tear is there. I mean, I get why they don't want to pay these guys the same as, a T. Higgins or some of A.J. Brown, but this guy's fucking worth it. This guy is worth it.
Is he can catch the ball too. It's not like he can just run, right? Like he can bring, I think the first game of the year against the Packers, he caught a post pattern down the sideline. It was like a 40-yard pass. Remember, that was the first touchdown of the entire season. So like he's got hands, he can do a lot. And by the way, I completely agree with you, Ticket. In a year where Jalen Hurts was hurt for multiple games, was up and down to the extent that he was, the real security blanket that the Eagles had throughout the entire season was Saquon. So you would have to make the argument that he was, I mean, without a doubt, the MVP of your team from start to finish last year.
And it's not a massive thing that's talked about too much, but there are some running backs out there that don't want to pick up blocks. Saquon's out there picking up blocks, dude. He's fucking taking massive hits, picking up blitzes. It's unbelievable what this guy does. He does everything. I mean, this guy's worth every fucking penny.
Would you venture into getting a Saquon Barkley jersey, especially since he's a Penn State guy too?
I would, but I'd want something different about it. Like there's, the amount of Saquon Barkley jerseys out there. Like I need
a Penn State one.
I would want a Penn State or something different because I can't be so mainstream because I have a problem. I need to be unique. And that's something I need to look into with my therapist.
You can get the vintage jersey. That's pretty nice.
Sure, absolutely. But yeah, I'll get whatever this guy fucking wants me to. Like if he wants me to buy a hat, if he wants to start a company selling dogs that have been mistreated, I'll fucking buy 10 dogs. I'll do whatever this guy wants. This guy is a hero. And this guy is, to me, is as much, he won't go down in the history of lore that Nick Foles will because he's been, he's an icon in Philadelphia. He's got a statue. But to me, he was just as important, if not more, in winning this Super Bowl than Nick Foles was. This guy deserves a statue.
Nick Foles has a statue in Philly?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. He sure does. He
Big
sure
Nick
does.
Nick?
Big Dick Nick. Yeah, he sure does.
In the same way that Dwayne Wade has a statue in Miami, or different?
Well, that's a bust. Wasn't that a bust? Or does he have a full statue?
It looked like a 5-year-old chiseled that thing out.
They gave Nick Foles a statue in Philly.
We had never won a Super Bowl. He's a legend there. That guy will never buy a beer in that city. It was unbelievable what he did. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, you don't have to, but they built it.
Good.
Start come down in the night and tear it down.
Start handing statues out there. Like MJ has a statue in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but everybody has a statue now.
Well, it devalues the statues around the country when you start giving them to everybody.
Sure. Well, some people out there want to tear down statues. Are you one of those people? You want to start tearing down statues?
Sounds like it.
The Nick Foles one I'll take down.
Come on, man.
No, I'm
Uh,
kidding. I'm not.
Jimmy Butler's going to get one in
Yeah.
Miami. He'll get
In
Oh,
They'll get one in Starbucks.
or aloe.
Yeah.
All
He's an
right, let's
aloe
move
athlete.
on here. The Jets released Devante Adams, adding to the free agent list to Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen,
Oh
Chris
my
Godwin,
God.
Amari Cooper. There's a lot of guys out there. But what do you think is next for Devante Adams? Who should pick him up? Does he deserve, to be a number one guy still, or what's the ceiling on his future there? Jet, you want to start?
I have nothing to say. I got no idea.
Nothing.
No, I don't know. I thought the whole thing this year with Aaron Rodgers, Devante Adams was a little weird. It was a little corny. It was kind of lame. And I don't did he perform? He had a few games where he went off, but I remember it was like a
Yeah, but it
struggle
was
to
a
get him
bust
going.
overall.
But he Devante Adams could still is a great wide receiver still. I mean I don't know. I don't know.
I tell you what, I'd take him back on the Packers. I wouldn't think twice. He's not going to come back. I think once he made his decision to leave to go get paid, in Vegas with the Raiders, you kind of knew that his career was going to take a little bit of a slide, right? Like he had Derek Carr, and then he had,
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, and you name it, Aiden O'Connell. These guys throwing him the balls is a lot different than Rodgers. But then he goes to New York, and everybody's expecting that it's going to be this incredible and reinvention of the team because he's back with his old quarterback. But Aaron Rodgers is not the same Rodgers that he was several years ago. Like the guy is morbidly broken. Like, I mean, since he ruptured his Achilles, the guy can't step back in a pocket without, like, he can't move in a pocket. Like, the guy is immobile. So I think that makes a big difference because he's trying to get the ball out so quickly. He doesn't really have, the time to make plays like he did in the past. So, yeah, they had a couple good games, Jet, but for all in all, that was kind of a bust that bringing him back. So now I don't know, where do you go? I mean, if he was smart, I think you go to a team that's a real contender. You go to a team where you can win because that's the one thing he hasn't done yet. And he's probably going to get paid wherever he goes. So maybe you go to you take a pay cut and you go to a team like the Ravens or the Chiefs or or even the Bills. Maybe he goes to the Bills. I don't know. But I do think he needs to go somewhere where, he's going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl because up until now, he hasn't won on the big stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could go back to. There's been a number of guys out there who leave a place that they've been for a long time, go get their money, and then they're welcomed back. And the fan
Yeah,
base
we would welcome
understands,
him
like,
back.
all right, he got his money, and now it's. Yeah,
I
I
listen,
actually think
Dick,
the
I would
Packers would be a
gladly.
great place for him, where there's a bevy of young wide receiving talent, where he doesn't have to do too much. He's not going to be asked to go grab 15 balls a game. He can just get six and make a nice impact there, and veteran presence. I actually think that Green Bay would be a great place for him to go.
I don't think he wants to be in Green Bay. I don't think he wants to live
Okay,
there.
well,
I don't think he wants to go back. I would take him in a heartbeat. Now, if you're asking me who I'd like to have, of free agents, is Mike Evans. They have not re-signed him.
Mike Evans is, I don't think he's on the list. Let's see what's going on with Mike
I thought
Evans.
you said Mike Evans. Okay, of the guys
No,
that I
Chris
know for
Godwin.
sure. Oh, Godwin, sorry. I want the Packers to make a play for Cooper Kupp, to be completely honest. I think he would
Okay.
be awesome in our offense. And I also heard that there's murmurs that DK Metcalf might actually come to the Packers because we're trying to look to get rid of Jair Alexander. So I'd take both of those guys over Devontae Adams, but Devontae Adams is going to still be good. He's still going to get his. I don't think I don't think he's a top five receiver in the league anymore.
Are you talking about a trade opportunity with Jair Alexander and DK Metcalf? Really? They'd have to
Yeah.
give them more than that.
Well, no, it was talked about the Packers would give Jair Alexander and I think one of their young wide receivers like Dontavian Wicks or was one of the names that came to mind
Hmm.
or but then they would get DK Metcalf in return. Don't forget Jair Alexander is one of the I think he's the highest paid corner in the league right now. Like when he's healthy, he's very good. So
Gotcha. Okay. And just to circle back to that Nick Foles statue real quick, it's a picture, it's a statue of Nick Foles and it's Doug Peterson and Nick Foles. It's him firing in the Philly special flag.
That's pretty sick.
All right, it's not bad. You back on statue?
Doug Peterson stinks, but
there's not a history of success in Philadelphia, so we'll make a statue when needed. And we felt that.
I would like them to make a statue of that Angelo's cheesesteak. If anything deserves a statue, that sandwich does. Much more than Nick Foles.
Speaking of guys who like seeing what your friends liked, I saw you like you follow these guys named the Grill Guys or the grill something, or these two guys, like these super Italian guys go and like rate sandwiches. I saw you liked it. And they went to Angelo's. And
that's the only reason I love anything that I follow Angelo's. Anything that's at Angelo's, I'm all over. It's to this day, Jet, you have to try the sandwich. I think it might be the best. It's in the company of the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. It's up there. The other one is in Florence, that the sandwich shop Venetico or whatever it is. That place is unreal.
In Florence,
Italy. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'll stop by.
It's going to be just to get this guy to Philadelphia.
I'll stop by on my way to work, dude.
I'm not telling Jet to go. I'm saying in top sandwiches that I've had, it's up there. Yeah.
So make your way to Philly.
And they actually have one. They have one in New York, though, Jet. You can try the one in New York.
The best sandwich I've had is a place in New York. Why am I blanking on the name? Fuck, they make the best sandwich of all time. Nikki Smiggs posts from there every once in a while. It's the best. Fuck. I'm tweaking out.
This is the spot, Al Antico Vineo. That's the one. If you're ever in New York, they have one, and it's unbelievable.
I got to look up the place. Hold on.
He's going to need to find this now.
It's in New York. It's the fucking best. It's so good.
Is it like one of these trendy spots, Jet?
No, it's a market. Milano Market. It's the best.
The place that me, you, and Joey B went to that one night, like in the wee hours of the night?
No, but around there. I know people that are listening here in New York, they're going to know.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you know, mention in the comments so that we can see.
All right, let's move on here. Deebo Samuel is traded from the 49ers to the Commanders. Is that a decent trade for the Commanders? Is that going to add to their offense? Is it going to add some chemistry issues with this guy being a little bit of a diva, getting hurt all the time, or is this a good thing for the Commanders? What do you guys think?
I mean, you got to think for what they gave up. Was it a 5th round pick? I mean, for Deebo Samuel. Now, the problem with Deebo is he's quote unquote, Ticket and I back in the day, we made an all glass team of guys who get hurt every single year. Like we made a joke that they're complex, they're made up out of glass. And I think Deebo Samuel's he's a high draft pick for the all glass team of the year. So he's hurt every single year. But when he's playing, when he's healthy, when he's not hurt, he's one of the more dynamic and more elusive and more entertaining guys to watch play football. Like he is extremely talented. The problem is he just can't not get hurt. Now, you're getting rid of a 5th round pick to bring that guy to be your number 2 after Scary Terry. I think it's a great deal for the Commanders. I think it gives a great young quarterback in Jane Daniels another option for like a guy to look at if somebody wants to double team Terry McLaurin. And you know what? I think they're going to be really good again next year because Jane Daniels only going to get better. Plus, they use Deebo sometimes in and out of the backfield, but I think he's a guy you can use with the jet sweep. He brings a lot to the table. You just got to stay healthy.
Jet?
I agree. I mean, the Niners are clearly they're trying to get him off the books. I don't know if they're trying to do something else. So it's a win for them in terms of the cap. But for the Washington, but it's I think it's great because you're right there. You're right on the doorstep of making the Super Bowl. And now you add another threat on offense. Now they have a great offense. I don't know. Maybe they need to add somebody on the defensive side. But I think it's great for both teams. It's a win-win. My personal all-glass team favorite is actually in the NBA. His name's Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, you would be up.
Oh, he was on the list back in the day. That was where we started, I think.
Even when he doesn't get hurt, even when he's not hurt, he limps around. Like, he'll get touched and start limping. Like, he'll make you think he's going out for the game, and then he'll come back and play, and then he'll miss time. But not one game goes by where Davis isn't limping up and down the floor for one reason or another.
I think Embiid was on that list too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, he
No,
sure
wasn't
was.
wasn't on that list is Keith Yandel.
No, the Iron Man
No,
Could
himself.
have been.
no. Have you gone
Yeah.
out there and played with him recently, Joe? Have you taken him up on
I
the
haven't
offer?
seen. Oh, I played with him a few times, but I since the last time I haven't seen him since I got back. I was traveling, but I hit him up. He's the best, man. He has this monotone like way of delivering a message where he'll just roast your ass, and then you look over and you don't realize that he just absolutely buried you, and you're like, Jesus, bro, that was brutal. He's like, yeah, that might have been a bit much. Like he's hysterical, man. I fucking love him.
He's got an all-time line in that Spittin' Chicklets episode where he just leans over to Jet or me or one of the cameras and he goes,
It was Bob.
boy, how bad does this guy want Bangarang Rufio to stick?
When he goes, he had a line. He had a great. He said
Completely trashed my
I don't know if
entire
that made the
fucking.
video. He said to Bob, he had a great line where FP, they were talking about the top beers you can have, like which he's like an airport beer, this beer, and Stubby goes, oh, or that office beer on a Friday. And he goes, never been to one.
Yeah, I've
that
never
was
been
great.
to one.
It was so good. I was like, that's awesome. But he said it in the he was like, never been to one. It was so good.
That's one of our
Yeah.
funniest episodes to date. Those guys are a fucking ride.
Oh yeah.
Well, tomorrow's gonna rival at the rematch.
It's true. It's true. And it's also up there.
Jed, why don't you tell them what we're doing?
No, the Bob already talked about it on the show. I see now it's too late because the cat's out of the bag, and I know Bob's going to be posting a bunch of stories tomorrow, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
no.
I want to keep it quiet and then just drop it one day when nobody's
Wow.
anywhere. But the QBs are back in town. The QBs are back in town, so hopefully tomorrow we get that filmed.
I hope that we can get another dub. When we played them, we were actually playing good golf back then, and we have taken a serious turn.
Yeah, we didn't. It
for
didn't
the
even go
worst.
because of darkness. It only went like 16 holes. Tomorrow we'll get a full round in. I'm sure the drinks will be flowing. The have days will be going. It's going to be a lot of fun because that is my favorite thing we've ever done for sure. It was just the best.
Since the Chicklets, I feel like we have got to step our game up, man. You know, it was tough to lose that.
Pop missed the first one back. It was 3 years ago now. Pop
did.
or 2.5. So
Oh,
Pop,
you missed it, Pop.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Oh, these guys. It's hard to say which guy's my favorite because they're all unbelievable. And Kyle is hysterical, but then Sam comes out with some of these dingers like out of nowhere, and he's just hysterical. And then Josh is the man. Pop, you're gonna have a blast. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, until I took that job with Circuit City and missed one episode back this past December. It was the only episode since I had started that I had ever missed, and it was a legendary video. I had COVID. I had yeah.
Oh.
And it was apparently a legendary day and night. And
the dinner at Waldorf Astoria dinner was just. Remember the end of the dinner? We were throwing popcorn. They gave us these little amenity bags of popcorn that the pastry chef made. We're just flinging popcorn around.
I have videos. I got a lot of videos on my phone of like people just chucking pop. It was
you should throw those back after tomorrow.
Yeah.
The only thing that I got out of it was a FaceTime that I screenshotted from Josh Allen. Jet gave him the phone, but it's an all-time. It's for me, that was the highlight of the day. And
I will say Josh is one of the coolest guys that you'll ever meet. He's just a guy's guy, and he loves golf, and he couldn't be nicer. And he has a great ability to make you feel like when he's talking to you, he makes you feel like he's not talking to you because you're talking to him. He's actually gives you his attention. He's a great guy.
I tell you what about Josh Allen. I don't know anything about him, just from what I see and from what you guys tell me. And this is nothing against his work ethic because the guy was the fucking MVP of the league. But it doesn't look like many people enjoy an off season quite like Josh Allen. The last two off seasons, this guy's
to carry the team.
I said it's nothing against his work ethic. I'm just saying the guy's enjoying vacation. What's wrong with that? But he's everywhere. He's everywhere. The guy's enjoying life. The fact that he can be as fucking talented and as amazing as he is to be the MVP of the league and have a season like he just had, and then just enjoy yourself. I mean, this is a special guy. He deserves every fucking.
I will say when he retires, when he does retire, years and years from now, when he does retire, he's going to be golfing so much he'll be making a push to be on the senior champions tour because he'll be golfing 2 rounds a day. he's going to be
He's
nonstop.
already
You gotta
pretty
love
good.
it.
Have you seen that meme? And I don't think it's true, but there's that meme of the guy who like played golf with him, and it was like he played 36 holes at this course. Then he went to FedEx to sign his new contract to send it back, and then he went back to the court. I don't know how true that is, but there's a meme circulating that some dude said he did that at his
I wouldn't put it by him.
Guy has fun. Guy has fun. I mean, he's a young guy. Isn't he like 27, 28? He's younger than us.
Something like that.
He's way younger than us.
What a life, man. All right, let's move on here to some exciting news. Hard Knocks canceled the show with Bill Belichick and UNC. Kind of a shame. I was looking forward to it. I don't watch too much of that stuff, but that Bill Belichick on Hard Knocks was going to be must-watch TV. You guys disappointed? I mean, how do you feel about it?
I haven't really watched Hard Knocks in a while, to be honest. Like, I think the last full season I watched was when they did it with the Rams. when years and years ago, when what's his name wasn't he was like a rookie still. What the hell is his name? The defensive player that they had who was unbelievable.
What team?
Aaron
Rams.
Donald.
Aaron Donald. And they he was like second year in the league, and they were like doing a whole feature on him. I will say last year they did a thing on the AFC North that was pretty cool. It was like they were in and out of the locker rooms, and like with the Bengals, with the Steelers, with the Browns, and the Ravens. And I thought that was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think like I'm not shocked that it didn't go through, because this is the first year that Belichick's at a college. So you're gonna have to think that he's gonna want to be successful. And I can't imagine doing like a Hard Knocks season is a great way to start off the year. It's a lot of distractions. Like, it's not going to exactly help the team play better, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure. Any thoughts, Jed?
Yeah, it starts. The first scene is him helping his girlfriend do her math homework. And he's like, I gotta go. I actually have to go, coach the team. And then he's telling them the importance of homework and the importance of working hard and getting good grades. And they got one clip of that, and they're like, yeah, we're out.
His girlfriend is absurdly younger than he is.
It's absurd, dude.
Each his own, dude.
Who made a joke about him at what was it? I don't, one of those, what do they call the sports award show? Is it the
ESPYs?
Yeah, they made a joke about him, and it was hysterical. My favorite, though, all-time ESPYs was Papa and I used to go into the archives when we were like really on the Peyton Manning kick back in the day. Remember when Peyton Manning just trashed the shit out of Kevin Durant when he was sitting at the ESPYs, and Durant looked like he was ready to go up on stage and literally strangle the shit out of him.
But instead, he just went on his burner account and roasted him from there.
Probably did.
All right, not a lot going on here in sports. Let's move on to who's a problem. Let's move on to why we have one more topic here, but that's actually my problem. So we're going to move on to who's a problem.
Why don't you start with your problem?
You want to start with mine?
Yeah, let's start with your problem for once.
Mr. Anderson, actually, it's true. I never go first. My problem this week is the MLB deciding that they now, post the death of Pete Rose, might reinstate the guy. Let's just wait till this motherfucker is dead. And then
that's brutal.
Let's fucking, you know what? Wasn't actually that bad. Wasn't actually that terrible what he did. Let's bring him back. I mean, the fact that they put this guy through hell and made him watch through the sidelines and kind of treated him like a pariah, like a piece of shit, like he's not one of the greatest hitters of the baseball that their league has ever seen, and greatly benefited from him and his legacy, and then just treated him like a piece of fucking garbage for years. This guy died less than a year ago, and they're like, you know what? Maybe we got that one wrong. Let's and
by the way, he was betting on himself. It wasn't like he was betting against. It's not like he was throwing games for other teams to win. Like, he was betting on him and his team to win.
He was a manager at that point.
They tell you all they say is bet on yourself, bet on yourself. Pete Rose does it. They kick him out of the league.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just disgusting behavior. It's just more MLB just being stuck in their ways. Like they just can't get out of their own way. They can't do the right thing, and when they do it, it's way too late. It's why the league is probably the worst. Oh well, NBA has made a real run for its money too, but it's one of the worst leagues to watch. I love the game of baseball, and they bastardized it mainly because these guys in the front office of MLB they just can't get it right, and this is just another fucking reason why they can't get it right. They're just too late to it. This is something that should have happened 15 years ago. And they wait till this guy dies 6 months. They're like, fuck it. That's my problem. Joe, let's move on to you. Who's your problem this week?
Oh, my problem is a Canuck, and sadly, it's a Canuck who just cannot figure it the fuck out. I'm talking about Elias Pettersson. This guy got signed to a huge deal this past year. He has not been doing well, to say the least. To be honest, the guy's a muppet. He hasn't scored in over a month. The Islanders goalie, Sorokin, has more goals than Elias Pettersson in the last month, to put on pace just how bad this guy's been. And I wouldn't care normally if a guy struggles, but the fact is, it became a huge fucking problem for the Vancouver Canucks because JT Miller, who I love and I think is an absolute dog and a great player, was so upset because he was getting paid a fraction of what they gave to Pettersson that they had issues between each other. It disrupted the whole team. They ended up trading JT Miller to get a couple more guys named Pettersson. And now we got a bunch of fucking soft, underbellied bitches on the team, which is what we've always done. We get these European guys who have no heart and no soul and no grit. And now we're not even going to, like, the team is they're in a real bad state. We probably won't make the playoffs. I don't know when this team is going to figure it out, when I'm going to be able to watch this team potentially win a Stanley Cup. The correct answer is never. And you know what? We're paying another guy who weighs 140 pounds soaking wet to not score goals and not contribute on the ice when we could have had a fucking guy like JT Miller who's playing in the Four Nations Cup and fucking wearing his heart on his sleeve every fucking shift, and I have to watch him go to the New York Rangers and absolutely ball out for them now. It's a problem. I haven't been that involved in hockey, but lately I've been watching a lot more hockey. I'm actually in my hockey playoffs right now for my fantasy team. And this guy's just up there, he's just floating around the ice like a fucking daisy that blew off a fucking a farmland somewhere and found its way into an ice rink. It's terrible, and he's my problem. And the Canucks got to figure it out, because I can't keep going year after year where they don't make the playoffs. At least do what the Packers do, be good enough to make the playoffs, and then break my heart once the playoffs start. That's it.
Fair enough. Wait, so you'd rather have a team make the playoffs and lose right away than a team that just doesn't make the playoffs? Really?
Yeah, because at least you're experiencing some level of success throughout the year. You have something to get excited about. You have something to get behind. It's like, ask Jet with the Bears. Every year they stink. They don't make the playoffs. They have no chance. Like that. I'm not taking a shot at the Bears, by the way. I'm just saying it because he's here, and I know it's a team that he says that they've let him down his whole life. But I'm saying, like, a team like that, like, you can't get that excited unless you're Mikey Bear Down Cuz going into the next season thinking that they're going to be a playoff team. Like, at least have some glimmering, like, aspect of hope at some point in the league. When you make the playoffs, you got a shot. Anybody's got a shot once you make the playoffs.
Oh, mark my words, the Bears will be a playoff team next year.
No one's hotter on the Bears than Tick every week.
I love the Bears. I like everything that they got going on.
Well, listen, they got a great coach this year, so they got no more excuses.
Well, they got a great offensive coordinator is what they got. Now they're calling him head coach. A lot of times these fucking coordinators. No, I know, but I'm saying, like, a lot of times these coordinators transition to head coaches, and then you realize, like, oh, they should have just stayed in their role.
But they got the number one pick, Caleb Williams, who looked good. They got a plethora of offensive talent who look really solid. Their defense is still good. And now they got Ben Johnson, who's, like, was the most coveted coach coming in the market off season. So, like, their excuses are now starting to dwindle.
All right, on that
Sorry,
note,
Jed, I'm not trying to take a shot.
Who's your problem, dog?
They need to clean. A lot of people forget about the trenches, and that's a place we got to clean up. My problem this week is ESPN Plus. Okay.
No.
Now, listen,
Go.
I have ESPN Plus. I purchase it monthly. ESPN Plus shows you a lot of games, obviously, specifically college basketball. They give you the games that you can't find on TV, right? If you want to watch Stony Brook play fucking Texas Southern, it's on ESPN Plus.
Yep.
Now, I, as a gambling man, occasionally will bet on games that are not as well known, not the marquee matchups. There's a lot of money in the crumbs. Okay, you got to be looking.
Guy loves putting a wager on
at
Brown.
these conferences, right? You got to follow the crumbs. All right, I didn't make up that. That's a stolen line. But ESPN Plus, I have yet to watch an ESPN Plus game that did not glitch out on me during crunch time. Every fucking, it's not even like a first half. The first half runs so smoothly on this network, right? And the second half, sometimes the broadcasts are good. Sometimes they're very legit. It's like ESPN 1 or 2. Other times it looks like a student fucking project. Yeah. You're watching
Merrimack School
potato from the ceiling. With that being said, they got to figure it out. The games always, without fail, in the last 5 minutes are glitching the fuck up when the games are on the line. And I know you know what I'm talking about, and it doesn't happen anywhere else besides ESPN Plus. YouTube TV has it down. Hulu has it down. Amazon went through a little phase, but they only did that one NFL stuff and Thursday Night Football. ESPN has been at this game for a while. They got to get this fucking buffering and their bandwidth figured out, because I will not – there's nowhere else to look. I ended up listening to a game on the fucking radio over my computer, on my laptop, because fucking ESPN Plus was just banging me.
Have you ever done the go to the ESPN app and they have, like, you go to the score and they have the live updates so you can see the basket going hitting off, and then it gives you the winning percentage, but you have to wait for like a minute for each update, and then you're like,
and then they go 2 minutes without an update, and then they'll hit you with steal basket, turnover, 3-pointer, steal. You're like, how's this all happening so fast? It's insanity.
Yo, this guy was listening to the radio.
I was listening to the radio over the internet. I went to like Texas Southern student website, and I was listening to the game.
What a sick guy, man.
Yeah, they covered though.
Now that being said,
they're about to cover.
This guy put together a 5-team parlay last night, Joe.
Where was I on this?
And nailed it.
Meanwhile, I was sweating. Well, I wasn't sweating. I was watching Auburn get dragged up and down the floor.
We had A&M. Auburn's the most overrated team in the country.
I was rooting for Mikey Bear Down Cousin, the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood is just the hood. What's it called?
Where was I on this? I would have loved a 5-team.
Joe, it was like watching Leonardo da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa last night. Watching this man put it together was beautiful.
Two of our games went into double overtime, and we covered both of them, dude.
I would have loved to be in on that. Thanks a lot, guys, for
tonight. We'll be back on the lam tonight. Except tonight we probably won't, but maybe tomorrow. Pop, extend your trip. We'll get it tomorrow night.
Yeah, you might have to for Robbie's birthday dinner.
I mean, I might have to if this guy's seeing the field as well as he did last night.
I will say, when Jed is hot, he is hot as a pistol, and then when he cools down, he is like one of those glacier fucking icebergs that sunk the Titanic. It's as bad as it gets.
The UEFA Champions League is currently playing in the afternoons, Pete.
Oh, see this.
And there's a great radio station that you can listen to it on.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's called football.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some questions, and then we'll get out of here. First question comes from Dan Burnell. You can make a movie or show about any team in sports. Who would it be?
Any team?
Yeah, I'm assuming like any team that's ever existed. You could make a movie about it. Which pick?
Oof. Of all time, that's a tough one.
I got one.
Yeah.
Give me the Malice at the Palace Indiana Pacers. They had hooligans on that squad. In a good way. Some nut jobs running around there.
I think the one, and they did make a documentary off of it, but a full-blown movie would be cool, was the Red Sox when they came down 0-3 against the Yankees and won, and they went on to win the World Series. I think that that's one of the greatest stories because of the backdrop of the Babe and like the curse of the great Bambino. Like as a movie, you could do so much with that. Like you could make a really great movie out of that story.
I've got another one. How about the Oakland A's when Billy Beane was running it? You could make a movie about them. You could have Brad Pitt play Brad Pitt with Billy Beane.
You could even
have
call it like
you have a great
some kind of ball with money.
Yeah, it would be about like how while all the other teams were fucking spending money, this team, didn't spend and they still made the playoffs. Scott Hatteberg would be in it.
You know what movie I did watch recently that was actually really good? It was a baseball movie. Was the 42, the Jackie Robinson story. That movie was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah.
The guy who did the Black Panther was the main actor. The guy who
T'Challa. He's great. Chadwick Boseman. Yeah. I'd love to see a film about Sean Payton that year off that he took. Maybe he went and coached his son's high school football team.
I refuse to watch
Maybe
that.
Kevin James would be a good addition there.
Yo, he does not look like him at all, man. What a terrible casting.
I
want
to see a little kid teenager manage the Minnesota Twins after his grandpa passed. You ever see that movie, Custy?
Yeah.
What movie?
What's it called?
Great. It's called oh man.
Is it Frankie Muniz?
I would like to watch a movie about an aspiring hockey player who doesn't quite make it into the big leagues, get the DUI, and then end up having to take a District 5 hockey team into the depths of absolute fucking world-renowned fucking success. And
what would you call
that? Maybe like the Mighty Ducks.
Next question.
You know what I actually think would be good? Not joking around. I think that 2010 or 2011 UConn Huskies team just tormenting the Big East and then just tearing through Jim Calhoun finally getting it done for them Huskies. Kemba Walker, legendary run. I think that would be a pretty sick movie.
The Chicago Blackstockings, 1900 whatever it was when they got
1919. But I think there is a movie. I think it's out.
Also, there. Babe Ruth. I would love to see some Babe Ruth shit.
Well, that's why I'm saying that my original answer before we started fucking around was the Red Sox, because you could backtrack it to the Babe, right? And like the curse of the Bambino, and like you could have a good backdrop. I think it would do really well.
All right. Next question comes from Tyler Beers. Ideal scramble partner outside of the Bob Does Sports crew. So just give me one guy. Okay. Good one. Good one.
I mean, the guy plays very realistic. Great time, and you know what? I caddied with him for a tournament for several days. He's an absolute delight to walk up and down the course with. Give me Josh.
Jet.
I'm trying to think. Scramble partner.
Yandel.
Yeah, he's a good one. He is. He's a vibes guy.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
You take Keith Yandel?
Sure.
Wow. Give me his name just fell out of my head for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Stick. He's an absolute fucking Alex Killorn, dude. Yeah, that guy looks like he looks fantastic. He looks like a vibes guy in a stick.
Hockey or football guys are great because like they're athletes, right? So like they're good at hockey, they're good at golf, and then like they're just like a guy's guy. So like they're gonna crush a couple cold ones on the course with you. They're gonna bring the vibes. Like you can't go wrong with a guy like Killorn or Yandel or some of these hockey guys. Like they're absolute beauties.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll get out of here. This one comes from Mike Bond. It's a fuck, marry, kill. March Madness opening weekend, MLB opening day, and Masters week.
Killing the MLB.
For sure.
Oh my God. I am absolutely eviscerating and annihilating the MLB opening day. I could give less of a fuck. And then I would fuck around With March Madness opening
Yes.
weekend, I would marry Masters.
Oh, I'd switch it. I'd switch those two. Dude, March Madness opening weekend at Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. That is special stuff.
Yeah,
It's a
but
it's a
that's
naughty
literally
time,
what
which
the
is why
fuck.
you're fucking it.
Yeah, it's like a crazy fucking 4 nights. The Masters is tradition, dude. That's a wedding.
If you had to run, that
Oh.
many fucking games in March Madness on a regular basis, I'd be dead. There's
Yeah.
no way like I couldn't keep up with it. You had to if you had
I
to stretch
agree.
that over. You know what I'm saying, Jet?
Playing.
Jet would be dead. Jet would not make
No,
it.
but the Masters, to me, the Masters has the stability of a marriage. The fucking opening weekend of March Madness is a fling, dude. It's a fucking 2 week, never talk to him again type. Like it's awful.
By the
All
end of
right.
it, you just feel like you need to
It's
sleep
a
for
2 week,
days.
never talk to him again, but think about him all the time type deal.
The one that got away kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So next year.
All right, let's wrap it up here, guys. That was a good one for not having much to talk about, but it was always fun seeing you guys. Jed, I'll see you in 2 seconds. Come out of that door. Joey D, I'll see you later. And we will see all you folks next week.